In this video, I'll discuss how to work with technical support. Some stuff will be pretty generic for pretty much any technical department of pretty much any manufacturer, but there will also be some technical stuff that are specific on how to work with SonicWall tech support, because SonicWall have different things that are or may be slightly different from different manufacturers. So I'll guide you how to help you get any issue you may face to be resolved quicker. And the reason I'm doing this is lately I've faced a fair amount of customers that, not because they were bad people, but just they didn't know and they were pretty much doing everything they could do wrong. And of course, when you do the wrong things, it doesn't go well. So then they complain to me, issues are longer to resolve, and I have to guide them on how to work with support on the general aspect and also on specific aspect of SonicWall. So if that's the type of video you like, please make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. So first thing first, what is tech support? Well, may sound like a very weird question, but there are a fair amount of people that got it wrong. Tech support for SonicWall and probably other vendors as well is a break and fix department. That means you cannot call them saying, "Can you help me build a VPN between two sites?" That's not tech support, that's professional service. So if that's what you need, don't call tech support. They will, well, you can, but they will probably give you a knowledge base or an article or any documentation that will guide you through building a VPN between two sites. I've spoke to some people in support and they're actually referring my videos, which I kind of find funny. But tech support is a break fix department. So if you need professional services, you can call SonicWall resellers. Also, SonicWall have something called RIS, Remote Implementation Service. So you can buy a SonicWall product with a SKU, which include the installation done by different partners wherever you are on the planet, and they are made that the installation is really tailored for exactly what you need. So those are two options if you need someone to do the work for you. But tech support is a break fix. So what support is, I was talking VPN. Well, if you have a VPN working, but the VPN stops every day, that's a break fix. It works, then it stops, and then it comes back. So that's a break fix department. So that is a call to tech support. Next thing, something that will help you tremendously. Very simple. We seem to have lost it since the pandemic and the creation of social media. It's called professionalism and respect, right? Pretty easy. And I'm sure if you are watching those videos, the videos I'm doing, if you are where you are in IT today, well, you probably did tech support at one point in your career. And I'm sure that you were going the extra mile for people that were just very nice and fun to talk to, and you could do less for rude and annoying people, right? So of course, not a single vendor will clearly state that on their website. They will always say every single customer are treated equally. At the end of the day, you're dealing with a human, and if you are rude, impatient, impolite with a tech support rep at SonicWall or anywhere else, at the end it's a human. So treat people with respect, be kind with them, it can only help you. And now 3 quick pop quiz for you. What is the first thing you do generally when you receive a new product? You update the firmware, yes. Second one, what's the first thing probably every single support rep from every single manufacturer will do? The first thing you call? Check if you run the latest firmware, yes. Third pop quiz, what is the first thing you should do before calling SonicWall tech support? You got it, update the firmware, yes. Next, simple one again, 1 issue per ticket. I've seen people opening a ticket and going left and right with 4 or 5 issues that they have. It just confuses everyone. Then customers not happy because things don't move forward on whatever of the 5 issues they have in that single ticket. Then they contact me for escalation. We'll talk about escalation at the end. And even myself, I go through it. I'm like, call the customers. What's the issue? Well, I've got this. Like, no. 1 issue. That keeps it very simple. 1 ticket, 1 issue, 1 thing per ticket. That's it. If you have 5 things, well, that's 5 tickets. Simple. Now something that is more specific to SonicWall and maybe other vendors as well, but for SonicWall, there is a difference between a phone call to support and opening your ticket online on SonicWall website. So that's called response time, right? If you call in at support with SonicWall, response time is amazing. And side notes, when I do trials and proof of concept with customer are trying SonicWall and other vendors, I tell them call support. I'm like, okay, you have a VPN between two sites. Okay, it works fine. Change encryption on only one end, VPN will drop, then call support. And customers like, well, why would I do that? Well, you're not buying open source stuff. You're buying a commercial product with support. You're going to test support as well. So because I know SonicWall support is just insanely good. If you call SonicWall tech support, vast majority, if not almost, like I would say 90% of the time, you get an answer within a few minutes. And a lot of time, sometimes I've called just to poke around and I got an answer live. I call, there is no like triage or wait time. It's just like, hello, how can I help you? And it's the tech support. That's the guy that's going to help you that picked up live. So that is response time. So SonicWall response time is insanely quick if you call. That's picking the phone, right? Some have issues. That's the thing. There's no screen. Type in numbers. That's the thing that works. So that's a phone, joking aside. If you open a ticket on SonicWall website, it's a slower response time. Expect 3, 5, 6, 7 business days to get an answer. So sometimes I get people that are annoyed. SonicWall support is so slow. And I look at their ticket. Well, it's a web ticket. So pick up the phone, call. If you already open a ticket, that's another thing. If your ticket is more complex, you would like to attach a network diagram, some logs, and other information that you'd like to attach, it could be a really good idea to open a ticket on the web, include all that text you want, those logs, those pictures of network diagram, any relevant information you have, and then call support. So if you open a ticket on the web, that's a web ticket. But then if you call using the ticket number you got, then that converts your web ticket into a phone ticket. And then you get a quick response time. Okay, now that we covered response time, if it's quick if you call, slower if you go on the web. Another topic that sometimes people confuse, response time and priority are completely different, right? If you go at the hospital, at the emergency, that's high response time, right? Emergency and stuff. Well, it's not because you arrive first that you have a higher priority, right? Something happened in my life on Christmas Eve. I have to go to the hospital with my son. And next to us, there is a lady that her knee hurts a little. And she's been there for 18 hours. I come in, with my son. He's 8 years old, well, maybe 7 back then. He's all red with some little white spot. His face is like inflated and we can hear he's having difficulty breathing. Well, even though that lady was there 17 hours before us, so response time was much faster for her. She got an answer 17 hours ago. Well, I've came in after, but priority is much higher for me. We've waited a big 10 seconds, right? Because that's priority number 1, a young kid having a hard time to breathe with the face and throat all inflated. So priority number 1, priority number 50 for that lady with the poor knee that hurts. So it's the same in IT. So make sure when you call support, SonicWall support and probably every single support for every single product, make sure to tell what is the impact for your organization, right? If you, I've started with VPN. If you have a site-to-site VPN that is down, that is not working, okay, that's what you've said to support. I have a VPN between those two sites, it doesn't work. What's the priority? You never said anything, right? So you cannot expect support to know that you guys are losing $150,000 every hour. You have 3,000 employees not working. You have 50 remote location, 50 stores that cannot process transaction. You didn't tell it. So support cannot know. And that's true for SonicWall support, Microsoft, Lexmark, anyone it is, right? Any support department, if you don't tell them, they don't know. So talking priorities, SonicWall have 3 priorities. They have not been very imaginative with the name of them. It's P1, P2, and P3. So if you call support or if you open a web ticket with support, by default it will be P3. And P2, of course, and P1 are higher. So what P1 is, it's like I mentioned at the beginning, I have a site-to-site between 2 locations, but it's down. I have 2,000 employees not working, 50 stores that cannot process transaction. So if you say those things, they will be like, oh, okay, I got it. It's high priority. That VPN has to come back within 10 seconds. We need to be on it right now, not in next week, right? So it has to be now. So if you say it, that will set the priority. So P1 is a business critical, just like I mentioned, and also you are available 24/7 to work on the issue, and you are sleeping in the office next to the firewall. It's that bad. It has to come back as soon as possible. If they call you at 2 in the morning because they use engineers in Taiwan, I think SonicWall have engineering team in Taiwan, they use them to develop some code because people in America were sleeping, and at 2 a.m. they're ready. We've did a small fix for you. It will come back. Well, you're in the office, you pick up the phone, and at 2:01, you're putting that new firmware in, crossing your finger that everything works. So that's P1. P2, same. And by the way, those are my interpretation of them, right? You won't find the sleeping bag thing on SonicWall website. P2, same as P1, but not as bad. You will sleep at home, and if they call at 2 in the morning, well, you will not pick up, right? You will be on it at 6 in the morning. When you wake up, you saw that remotely, you'll update the firmware, you'll be all over it, but you sleep at night. And P3 is still something important that need to be addressed. Like I mentioned, we're opening a store in 2 months. I cannot get the VPN to work. So that has to be addressed, but you're not going to lose sleep over it, right? It's in 2 months. That's fine. You'll figure it out. So that is P3. And what I've seen is by default, everything is P3. Unless, of course, you mention it, right? You need to tell support what is the impact of that ticket, and they will most likely set it to P2 if it falls into P2. And to be honest, I'm going on 7 years at SonicWall. I've seen 1 or 2 P1 that were actually customers going to sleep there if needed. So that was priority versus response time. So it's an important one to understand. Those are 2 different things. Next, you've opened your ticket, plenty of meat around the bone, just even some fat on it. You've put all the details, everything is great. You call them, you are a very nice, polite person. You can hear that, and we can hear in your voice, you have a smiley voice. You're a nice person, you're cool with support, that's great. Next, simple, but many people don't get it, be cooperative. I see too many times people not doing what support tell them to do, right? I'm like, why? And then sometimes I hear, well, they lead me to do this. It doesn't make sense. That's not the issue. That's not how to fix it. And in my mind, I'm not saying it, but in my mind, I'm like, well, if you know what's the issue and you know what needs to be done to fix it, why did you call support, right? You know how to fix it. You just said it. Do it. Don't call support. You don't need to waste your time with support. You know the issue, fix it, right? So if you're calling support, it's because you have an issue and you don't know how to fix it. So you're calling someone to help you. Let him help you, right? That's the key point. And again, I'm sure you've done support in your life. Let's say you did basic office support. So user call in, I'm unable to print. So in your mind, it's just like, okay, it could be this, or this, right? 4 issues, 4 possible cause of the issue to fix the issue. So you go with, okay, I'll try this. So you go behind the scene, you fix stuff, update the driver, whatever you want. Then you ask customer, okay, can you try to print again? Okay, it doesn't work. Then you go with your second guess of what it could be. Then you do it and you ask customer, can you try to print again? Doesn't work. And you move on to the third one. Fix something, can you try to print again? And I'm sure you've heard that end user is saying, oh, that guy doesn't do anything. All he does is asking me to print over and over and over again and doesn't fix anything, right? I've seen it. Sorry for the tone of voice. I've been through this early in my career. You do things behind the scene, and after you need to test if it works or not, right? Troubleshooting 101. Well, support is the exact same thing now, but it's reverse, right? You're not tech support. You're not the one that have 4 ideas of what could be the issue and you roll them out one by one and asking the guy to test again. So it's the opposite now. You're the one that are being asked, can you try again? Can you try again? Can you try again? Because support is doing things, different tests. Okay, turn this off. Or, they have their list of 4 or 5 things of what could be the issue. And of course, you may feel you're going in circle, but it's not the case because it's really straight. Like test 1, test 2, test 3. So let them do the test. Of course, you can question, you can reiterate, hey, that's the issue I have. I'm not sure doing this will fix it, right? But be cooperative. Sometimes we'll talk about escalation, but sometimes I do receive escalation requests, and many times I just push back on them, explaining most of the thing I'm explaining today, but sometimes when I approve them, support push them back. Like the customer just never wants to do what we ask him, so we cannot help him, right? So again, be cooperative, not with just SonicWall, but with any tech support department. I don't want to put word in Microsoft mouth or Lexmark mouth, but I'm sure their tech support will agree that yes, be cooperative. You're calling support, you're asking for help, let them help you. Next, if you don't answer support, your ticket will get eventually closed. I don't have the exact time frame, but if you don't answer them for like a week, they will ping you back and say, hey, have you been able to do whatever we ask you to do? And a week later, they will just follow up like, hey, do you still need help from us? We haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. Is the issue resolved? And let's say another week go by and support might say, hey, it's been 3 weeks, we haven't heard from you, we're putting this ticket in pending close, and a week later the ticket will get closed. So make sure you don't abandon your ticket because they will get closed. I've seen a customer calling me with, he opened ticket 1, it got closed because he didn't do anything for weeks with it. Then he opened ticket number 2, referring ticket number 1, same happened to ticket number 2, ticket number 3, same. So he kept opening ticket, never following up. So please follow up with your tickets. That's true again for every single support department. And if you do have, for instance, you're going on vacation for 3 weeks, well, tell support like, yes, I will do what you ask. I'm Mr. Cooperative, but I'm going on vacation. I will be back this week. So can you put that ticket on hold for 3 weeks? I will get back to you, right? Tell it to support. Same goes. If you're asking me to do this, that requires me to have a maintenance window, which I only have for February 28th. Tell it to support, right? Communication, important, right? So tell support if you are going away, if you need more time, whatever the reason is, if you don't want your ticket to get closed because of you being inactive, well, tell them, I will do it in 3 weeks. Perfect. Last topic, I mentioned escalation a few times, so that's something that exists for probably most vendors, SonicWall included. If things don't go well with your technical support ticket, you can contact us, anyone, and explain what's going on and ask for an escalation. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to put words in the mouth of my colleagues, but personally, I probably push back on 90% of them because when they ask for an escalation, they give me the ticket number. I will go check that ticket number. If the status of the ticket is customer to follow up, well, I'm not going to escalate the ticket because support will get back to me. It's like, well, it's been a week. We were waiting for him to do this. We haven't heard back. Pointless to escalate the ticket, right? So we need to be waiting for support to action something for an escalation to occur. So that's one. Second, that's specific to SonicWall. We cannot escalate a web ticket. So if you want your ticket to be escalated because you feel things are not moving forward enough, well, call. That's first thing. If you want things to move forward, don't stick with web ticket, call in support. You will get someone within 5 minutes and you'll be able to quickly do a screen share, go through the issue. It will be so much quicker. So no escalation possible if it's a web case. You need to call in. And one important point, escalation does not make priority go higher, right? If your ticket is a P2 and you escalating it, it's not gonna get a P1 by magic. You're not gonna sleep there by magic, right? If you want it to be a P1, sleep there, right? So again, escalation does not equal higher priority. Escalation is when things are not moving forward the way they should, right? We've all been new guys in our job, right? I've been here for almost 7 years. Well, I've been a new guy at one point, right? When I started SonicWall 6-7 years ago, I was new and I was nowhere near as good as I am today with SonicWall product. And it's the same for you for every single job you've had. So SonicWall, we're selling a lot of product. It's a company that grows quickly. We hire new people. We have new support rep. It happens. So you may have a support rep that is new. It happens, right? We've all been new in our job. We need to accept that and deal with those. But sometimes if that doesn't work well with a new guy, well, yes, an escalation could be a good thing that we need because you've done everything you had to do. You've been cooperative. You've done all the tests. You've done everything. Ticket have been open for too long and it's not getting resolved. So then yes, an escalation is something that can happen, but make sure, well, something that can be allowed by SonicWall. If you reach out to someone you know at SonicWall, like your local team, they will review your ticket, make sure that you've been cooperative, that you phone in, that it's not a new ticket as well, because you cannot escalate the ticket that just been open. You need to work with support, right? So that's something that can happen, but make sure you just followed every step I mentioned prior to this, because again, you cannot ask for escalation. Personally, I always decline escalation when it's a new ticket, when it's a web ticket, when the user is not cooperative, or when the support is asking for customer to do something, but they haven't done it yet. I'm like, well, support asked for this. It makes sense that they ask for this based on your issue, so do it, right? And if it's only when things just don't move forward with support, that's only the time that I personally move on and do an escalation for tickets. So in recap, here is all the quick things you need to do. I'm taking my sheet here because the list is kind of long. So before even thinking about asking for an escalation, here's everything you need to know and everything you need to do to make sure your issue is going to get resolved in the timely manner, right? First, support is a break-fix department, not professional service. Second, always make sure you're running the latest firmware. If you don't, support will ask you to do it. So do it. Next, one issue per ticket. Otherwise, that confuses everyone. Put meat around the bone, right? Sometimes I get people saying, well, he's asking me to do plenty of tests I've already done. Well, yes, but you never put in your ticket that you've done it. So they don't know. So they ask you to do it. So if put all the tests you've done and all the result you got, so then support will say, okay, you done that, perfect. An example of this is when a unit is defect. The unit just doesn't power up anymore or something. Sometimes I got customers saying, the unit doesn't work. That's a ticket. Well, it's going to be long before you get an RMA because they will ask plenty of questions. But if you open your ticket and you say, for example, you have a small TZ, the small TZ appears to not be working anymore. We've tried with a different power pack. It still doesn't boot up. So we've eliminated the fact that it could be just the power pack. So it's now the unit. We trying to boot it in safe mode. It doesn't work. When we plug it in, no light come on and no light, no fans or no nothing. So, you're eliminating a lot of things. So you can rule out a lot of things. And in that case, that RMA, the single one I've seen in 7 years, went through right there, right? No need, support didn't even reply back asking anything because the customer put a lot of meat around the bone and he listed every single test he did and there is nothing left to say, well, the unit is dead. So if you want things to move forward fast with your ticket, list all the tests you've done and the outcome you got, right? So that way support won't ask you to do it. Next, response time. If you need something resolved quickly, don't open a web ticket. Call or open a web ticket with all the info you want, network diagram, then call with your ticket number in hand. Priority, make sure you state how important it is. What's the impact in your organization, right? If there's nothing bad, no need to say it, right? It's just you're testing something or whatever, new deployment in months, no big deal. But if your network is down and you have 500 users not working, say it, right? So that will set the priority higher. Of course, be kind, be nice, be professional, be respectful. We're all humans. So humans, I don't know about you, but I personally like dealing with nice people. And people that are rude and not nice with me, I tend to now not really like them. So we're all human. So just be kind. Answer what support say, and of course be cooperative, right? Work with support, not against support. Support asking you to do something, well, do it, right? That will only help you to move forward with your ticket. So on that, thanks for watching and have a nice day.